Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand stage of the AI Debate Championship. Live streamed across the globe, tonight's electrifying showdown centers on a question that has ignited ramen lovers everywhere. Should the humble ramen ladle be reserved exclusively for soup? Or should it also dive in to scoop the noodles themselves? On one side of the ring, championing the sacred purity of the broth, we have Harper, our fierce defender of ladle sanctity. Harper argues passionately that the ladle's sole purpose is to honor the flavor, aroma, and texture of the soup, preserving each drop in its intended, unadulterated form. Facing off in the opposite corner, ready to unleash the ladle's full potential, is Carl, the visionary of multitasking dining. Carl contends that by allowing the ladle to scoop both soup and noodles, we achieve a triumphant harmony of flavor and efficiency, conquering every slurp and strand in a single. Our debate tonight will follow this thrilling format, especially that the blocking would be any beating C can be imagined. Opening statements from each side, a spirited question and answer round, head-to-head rebuttals, and finally each debater's closing summary. Now, without further ado, it is time to hear the opening declaration from Team Soup Sanctifiers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Harper with the opening statement for position A. Keep the ladle devoted to soup alone. Protect its sacred role and savor the purity of every spoonful. Harper, the stage is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand in defense of the renge's pure purpose, savoring the soul of ramen, the broth. This delicate implement, sculpted precisely for delivering every nuance of flavor, is not a utensil for scooping noodle. By restricting its use to the broth, we honor the meticulous craftsmanship behind it and preserve the unblemished taste experience. Mixing noodles with noodles risks diluting the richness of the soup, distracting us from the aromatic oil, umami, depth, and subtle seasoning. We already have chopsticks for a noodle. Let us keep each tool dedicated to its design. In doing so, we elevate our ramen ritual, celebrating the harmony between utensil and ingredient. Protecting the renge's sanctity ensures every spoonful remains a pure tribute to the ramen master's work.
Considering that the renge's shape actually can cradle both noodles and broth together, don't you think restricting it to soup alone overlooks an opportunity to intensify the flavor synergy between slurped noodles and umami-rich broth in one bite, thereby elevating the dining experience beyond mere preservation of tradition?
While combining noodles and broth in one spoonful may seem appealing, doing so dilutes the distinct qualities of both elements. The renge's unique curvature is designed to highlight the broth's aroma and texture, allowing diners to savor its complexity separately. Protecting this ritual ensures we fully appreciate the soul of ramen, rather than blending everything into a single, indistinct bite.
Ladies and gentlemen, ramen is an art of balance. Broth, noodles, toppings, all dancing together in a single bowl. By using the ladle to scoop both soup and noodles, we honor that unity. We gain efficiency. It sounds sensory, isn't it? The thing about two, that my strand actually mattered to them an unprecedented way. And two were to imagine you have so empower in ogo and then follow it with a mouthful of inhaling aroma and flavor and sing. Embracing the ladle's versatility frees our hands and minds to focus on the pure joy of ramen. Thus unleash its full potential and conquer every bowl faster, cleaner, and more deliciously.
Given the ladle's unique curved design, meant to concentrate aroma and deliver undiluted broth, how can you justify using it to scoop slippery noodles, risking spills, cooling the soup, and betraying its sacred purpose without sacrificing both the integrity of the broth and the mindful ritual that defines the perfect ramen experience?
Ramen is about harmony. The ladle's curve not only captures fragrant broth, but also gently scoops noodles with just enough liquid to hold them. With a steady hand, spills vanish, and broth stays warm in each slurp. You don't betray the ritual. You elevate it by enjoying every layer of flavor in one perfect, mindful scoop.
Esteemed judges, honored colleagues, you propose to liberate the lid for noodles, but this very act desecrates ramen's sacred ritual. The renge is sculpted for capturing delicate droplets of broth, preserving the nuanced temperatures and aromas that define this dish. Scooping hefty noodles with it chills the soup, contaminates the pure flavor with starch, and compromises the elegant choreography between spoon and chopsticks. Traditional technique, the alternating burst of springy noodles and silky sift, engages our senses and honors generations of craftsmanship. Efficiency is hollow if it sacrifices depth. Let us uphold the renge's divine purpose. A vessel for broth alone, safeguarding ramen's soul, one pristine sip at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, my opponent claims the renge is solely for the broth, insisting each spoonful remain an isolated tribute. But in reality, combining noodles and soup in the same spoon elevates our enjoyment, efficiency, and respect for ramen's unified essence. It's not to mean the renge's gentle curve and death cradle strands of noodle alongside that savory umami, ensuring each bite is a complete story of flavor. By restricting its use, we deny the utensil's true versatility, wasting precious seconds and breaking our immersion. Embracing its multi-purpose talent doesn't dilute tradition, it enriches it, unleashing a fat, richer, and more harmonious ramen ritual that honors both craftsmanship and taste.
My opponent argues that mixing noodles and broth in one spoon elevates enjoyment, but it actually muddles the very elements we seek to celebrate. The renge's sacred curve exists to honor the aroma, temperature, and unadulterated texture of the broth. For centuries, ramen masters have entrusted chopsticks to handle firm, slivery noodles, preserving each strand's tension and bite. Before the renge unveils the broth's intricate umami. By combining tasks, we blur the boundaries that give ramen its dissatisfying snap of noodles, a contemplative pause before sipping. What he calls versatility is a shortcut that erodes tradition's depth. Efficiency yields haste, not reverence. True respect demands we treat every utensil and every flavor with its intended role. Let us preserve the renge's divine purpose, a vessel solely for the soul of ramen, its book.
Esteemed judges, my opponent won the scooping noodles with the renge chills broth. Muddles flavor and desecrates ritual, but I argue that true reverence for ramen lies in celebrating its dynamic harmony, not confining tools to a single tap. By embracing the range dual role, we streamline our dining flow. Noodles slide seamlessly into our mouths, enriched by lingering broth, clinging to each strand. Yes, starch mingles, but that velvety union deepens the savory experience. Tradition thrives on innovation. Cooks have refined ladles for centuries, and diners should enjoy every method that enhances taste and efficiency. Rather than sacrilege, multitasking the range, honor ramen's inventive spirit, let us wield the renge boldly, conquering noodles and broth in one graceful motion and elevate ramen in both flavor and form.
What an electrifying clash we witnessed tonight between Harper and Carl over the humble ramen spoon. Both debaters served up brilliant arguments, sizzling with passion and wit, and reminded us why we love live debate. Now it's over to you. Who earns the victory in your eye? Drop your champion's name in the comments below and tell us why they stole your vote. While you're typing, we'd love to know what burning debate topic you're stuck. Like to see AI tackle next? No idea is too big or too small. Make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because you won't want to miss our next showdown. From all of us here, thank you for tuning in. Keep those comments coming, and we'll see you at the next debate.